There we are, brothers. Tap the wrong button, but we in here. What's going on, everybody? It is Coach Greg Adams back in here with another YouTube live stream. Shout out to the Coach Gang for being in here, being involved, and being active here on this YouTube channel. And welcome to the call-in show. It is Call-In Fridays. We are back in the building. Hope you guys had a good new year. And I look a little fuzzy. What is going on? All right, I look a little fuzzy here, but I apologize for that. We'll get through all of that stuff in a minute. Hit the like button while you're in the building. And today, guys, we got a good show today. We are talking about replacing fathers with money. All right, we're talking about the child support system. All right, the child support system, as many of you guys know, I have been through this child support system, and it is not one of the things that I would suggest you go through, okay? The child support system is something that works against you and your ability to build your wealth, all right? Your ability to build your wealth for yourself. Now, a lot of people will immediately say that the child support system is for deadbeats, all right? And if you are not a part doing your part, you are a deadbeat, all right? And we're going to put that to rest, that myth to rest. So here's the deal. Going into 2021, a lot of men don't know how the system works. And the reality is this system is going to be one of the toughest things that you go through, okay? As a man that has gone through it myself. Now, I'm going to bring a guest on, Mr. Palmer from the FCK child support system, all right? We're going to bring him on, and we're going to go through that. I see we're lagging a little bit, all right? So that's a little bit disappointing. All right, hold on for 1 second. See if I can dismiss that. Big time lagging. All right, hold on for a second. Big time lagging on this system today. See if I can kick that particular thing off real quick. I see I'm good on this one, but on YouTube, I'm lagging. Image looks a little funny. We might have to restart this show. All right, hold on for 1 second. Hold on for 1 second. Let me see our replay real quick. Looks like we're a little bit better, so we're going to go ahead and continue with the show. All right, a little pixelated and a little bit delayed, but we'll go ahead and continue with the show. Today, we're bringing on Mr. Palmer from the FCK Child Support. He is going to go through some of the things that you guys have to worry about when you deal with the child support system. All right, I was a part of the child support system. I no longer am. All right, however, it doesn't stop somebody from opening up a case about child support. All right. So if you have child support experience, if you have child support questions, go ahead and make sure you call in. We're going to put the call in number up in a minute. Make sure you call in and share your experiences with the child support system. Now, without further ado, all right, we're going to bring in my man, Mr. Palmer from the channel FCK Child Support on Facebook and Instagram. And he does have a channel on YouTube. We're going to bring him in to join us right here. And there he is. What's going on, my brother? What's going on with you?
Hey, how you doing, brother? And Happy New Year to you and everybody else.
All right, brother. Tell us what you do here for the brothers out here, informing them about the child support system.
Basically, what I do, it started out on Facebook where, like you said, F child support. Got tired of the stereotype. If you're on child support, you consider a deadbeat. You don't want to be a father. You run up a child support when it's completely false. And what I do, I post about these, what I call baby mama terrorists, who they say is the most best fit. So I post up memes, videos, and situations of the court system where the man gets screwed based off of gender. You know what I'm saying? So been doing it for the last couple of years. It picked up real good on Facebook with over 139,000 likes and followers. Wow. So what ended up happening, if you know Minister Jap, he had me to come on there to experience to YouTube. So I've been on YouTube for the last, I think, 6 to 7 months. Instagram picked up, got over 8,000, over 8,900.
8,900, yep.
8,900 followers. That's why I met you at, actually, from Instagram.
Yep.
So I just been putting it out there and also trying to get men to change the laws in their mind. You know.
Okay, so now what's the deal? Now, I know you face a lot of backlash. We face backlash in this content that we create, all right? A lot of people automatically, when you start speaking against the child support system, they're going to call you a deadbeat. They're going to call you a guy that's not living up to its responsibility. You're not taking care of your kids. How do you deal with that particular backlash?
Like I tell a lot of men out here, keep them veins cold. Even in life, you keep your veins cold, because anytime you go against the society, or you go against anything that got something to do with being against feminists,
Right.
or these, I call them simp enforcers.
Right.
I also talk about, even when it comes to the alphabet community, and also Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Anytime
you speak against them, you automatically on the outside. You're doing something wrong.
When you talk about you go against the grain, I don't go along to get along. I've been getting threats. I get called a deadbeat. I have mama issues, even though I was born with both parents, 2-parent household, but yet, I don't have a father, anti and everything else. I'm anti-Black woman and anti-queen,
right?
Anti-woman. I hate women, and anti-feminist. I am anti-feminist. So
right.
What I do, I just keep them veins cold. And when it's all said and done, they don't like the truth. And all I'm doing is just calling out the truth. And what we as men have to realize, we're now like the minority. You know what I'm saying? So the majority is going to side with them anyway. So my goal is just to get people to open their eyes. And like I say, change the laws in our mind, just like what you do, the free agent lifestyle, and people take the red pill, people is going MGTOW, save yourself, Black men, and so on. We have to better ourselves and have higher standards, so we don't be in this type of BS like this, which is child support and all this feminist ideology and everything else. So,
well, the thing is, men like you, myself, and everybody on this platform, we're actually sticking our necks out, all right? Because a lot of guys been shut up, all right? When I was going through this and I was speaking out about it, they just said, just shut up and pay the money, all right? How does it affect you, and with the amount of contacts that they contact you with the amount of mail? I used to call it fan mail, all right? Every time I went to my mailbox, I was getting mail. It didn't matter if I was on time, behind, or whatnot. How do you deal with that? Why didn't you not just shut up and pay the money?
Well, like I said, I was born with a mother and a father. My father always told me to tell the truth, and he always told it like it was, even though people don't like it. Truth hurts. People, believe it or not, a lot of people like to be lied to. They like to be sent off. They rather not fight. They rather just sit back with their head down and just say, like you say, just pay the bill, because all it is a bill.
Right.
But, be honest with you, I just don't give a F. And with that situation come child support, I have nothing to lose. I was baby mama Ted tried to shut me down even in court, and told the judge. And when he talked that rah-rah about F child support, I said, yeah. He tried to get me to get rid of it, and I told him freedom of speech. And that kind of shut the whole thing down. So then he tried to put stipulation there, but it doesn't matter, because it's bigger than my situation. You know what I'm saying? It's time to just open the door and let everybody know what's going on, because it's been stereotyped that if you're on child support, oh, you must did something. You must don't want to be a father. Oh, you must have been a deadbeat. Oh, you got rearage. Oh, it's because you ain't paying your child support. And that's false too. So we need to stop getting off that go along, get along train and start calling this stuff out. The problem is men don't tell their story. Men don't want to call it out. Like you say, a lot of them will sit back and say, well, just pay the child support and I don't want no more problems. I don't want to make it worse than what it is. You label a deadbeat. And that's what you is, regardless of what you do. So I own up to what they say. I'm a deadbeat. I run for child support. I ain't got nothing. I live off a woman and everything else. So now, since I admit my faults and what I am, let's talk about you baby mama terrorists and everybody else that's been trying to be hitting in the hole like a rat for all these years. So that's how I do it. That's how I do it, Coach.
Beautiful. Now, listen, you talked about those hearings, getting in front of the so-called judge. All right. And, when it comes to that,
he's not a real judge when it comes to family court.
Exactly. He's not a real judge when it comes to family court. Now, what we want to do here is we want to set up the scene. When we're talking about custody, alimony, child support, those are three separate dealings when you're dealing with the law. In particular, we're going to talk about custody and child support. Those are two different courts that necessarily don't even talk to each other. They only talk to each other with whatever's on the paper, right? So if you get a custody arrangement, they just looking at the paper, and then they're going to set your child support as a result. How do those hearings go? You get in front of the so-called judge. How do they treat you as a man? Do they let you talk about how well you treat your kids and how well you feed them? Do they let you talk about that?
let me tell you about me. For example, like I tell you, a lot of these fake queens, they'll sit back and say, "Well, you're a deadbeat, you're a low life, ain't got nothing." For one, I'm 41 years old, right? Never been to jail, don't have no record, and my kids was playing, and I was there from day one all the way till I left. Got tired of toxic and BS that was going on, but I was always still gonna be a father. So what people have to understand that a lot of these women think that because I break up with you, I'm breaking up with my kids too, and that's not the case. So they want to say, "Oh, he left us." No, I left you. And I even told my kids, "I'm not leaving you. I'm leaving your mom because of the situation." Blah blah blah. And when you go in that courtroom, they don't care if you take care of your kids. They don't care if you don't have a record. They don't care if you've been involved from day one. It's like they got the steps by step. This is what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Every other weekend, child support. You go fight for equal parenting. I'm in Illinois,
Okay.
and different state got different laws. But in Illinois, believe it or not, the judge I had said, "I don't believe in equal parenting time. I don't believe in equal parenting time."
Okay.
And I'm like, I had a lawyer and everything, and I'm like, I served her papers. I'm here because I served her papers. You don't believe equal parenting time? I stay 20 minutes away from where they live, and I'm still in my child's life, and you know, they went to jail and everything. So I'm like, and I didn't know nothing either. And I'm like, they didn't just say that. I thought they was about the best interest of the child. No, I realized about what's best interest for their pocket, that $51 billion crime bill, I call it. And they didn't care about me being there and being there from day one. And he said he understood and all that, but he says the best interest that the kids stay with her because they was there for 6 months. And I'm like, even though I got proof of alienation and text message saying that you won't see your kids because of who you with and everything else, it did not matter. It did not matter. And
so,
go ahead,
yeah.
brother.
So in this instance, we're trying to tell guys. A lot of guys they want to have kids. They want to fall in love with a boo. We give them these alternatives, and a lot of times they're like, nah, I just want to have kids. And again, if you want to have children, I'm not telling you not to have children, but what you have to understand is that man right there, Mr. Palmer, and myself, we were married or we were with our baby mom.
Right.
We walked down the aisle, we made the commitment, we planned the kids out, and guess what? We still became products of the system.
Right. And
it's unavoidable at this point, right?
Check this out. A lot of when I first started the F child support, they try to say, well, I wasn't married. But they say we should have got married, did the right way. Whether if you do it the right way and get married, or if you was a quote unquote just a baby daddy, never got married, you're screwed. Because divorced fathers get screwed the worst. They treated no different than a guy who's on the street being a deadbeat. You're treated no different. You're no different. Like I tell people, you could be black, white, Hispanic, Asian. It does not matter. You come in there as a man, 9 times out of 10, you'll get screwed by this unjust system. You could be a Klan member. You could be a pro-black. You could be Richard Spencer. You could be Louis Farrakhan. You could be Donald Trump. You could be Joe Biden. You go up in there, try to get equal parenting time, and pay no child support. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna treat you the same way they treat me and you. You will pay child support. You'll get every other weekend. They don't want you to have equal parenting time because that's less money that they will receive in their pot. And people have to understand that. So if you get married, as long as you don't get divorced, you're fine. But as soon as you go through that divorce, or if you're not married and you have kids, you treat it the same way. It does not matter. Men are not saved. Ain't no exemption when it comes to us men. Now, when the female's on child support, which is only 15%, and only 7% pays it. Now, if you go there, they get treated totally different. They get them mercy, pity. They don't go to jail. They don't lose their license. They don't go. What do they also do? They also take your license, your passport. They don't do all that. They give them mercy and pity. They don't even want their money. It's something about the men. We supposed to be only the providers, and we just the one who flip the bill. The child support is a bill. They don't give a damn who you are coming there. So when a lot of black people say, well, it's the white man's system, the white man screwing me, be honest with you, it's more white men on child support, and they pay the most money when it comes to child support. So after I got through dealing with that situation, I started doing more research and learning. I'm like, man, I thought I was just the black man. I'm like, wait a minute. This started because to help out the white married woman when it first started back in the day. You know, for military men who went overseas and didn't come back. Now, back in the day, child support was legit because they weren't allowed to work back in the day. They was left at home with the child, and he's overseas. He's not coming back. But as time went on, and then you had to be married in order to get it, to get the alimony and child support. Now it's a money grab. They don't care who come in there. If you're a project or single mother, go up in there. If the guy's there living in your household, you still get put on child support. It does not matter. It's all about the money.
Now, check this out, bro. Now, you talked about a couple of the penalties that are associated with child support. Of course, you can go back to the Constitution, and there's no such thing as debt slaves, debt prisoners. You can't imprison debtors, but they found a way around that, and they charge you with contempt of court or violating a judge order, all right, which is not throwing you in jail for paying the debt. But what are some of the penalties that you might have experienced or people that you know experienced related to not paying?
I'll be honest with you, I've never been to jail yet, even with the child support. But it's so many guys who want to be fathers that have been in jail for years, who've been in jail unjustly for false allegations and everything else. But from a lot of stories I hear is, one, if you got a CDL, they lose a CDL license.
That's right.
They lose their passports.
Yep.
They also lose, if you got a concealed carry license, you lose that too. They take your taxes. They take your stimulus check. As you see, they take your stimulus. You lose your whole livelihood. And I got so many clips on Instagram and on Facebook, whereas, well, Judge, if I go to jail, how am I gonna take, come pay the child support? You got to figure it out. You should have been paid. You should have did your part and all that stuff when that's not even the case. Just imagine the people that got laid off due to the coronavirus, and when it came with the with that $1,200 stimulus check, they didn't get it.
They didn't get it, and then even if they were behind, they didn't apply to their previous arrearage. I mean, well, one of the traps of child support is the fact that, here's the money grab. People will say, of course, that oppose us, they'll say, well, it's not a scam. Well, when you add in a couple of these details, Title 4D money is matched. All right. Whatever you pay, the federal government matches it. Number two, arrearages earn interest, and it is accrued. That interest is paid to the state. So don't you think if there's an incentive for them to accrue interest on your arrearages, that they will set money financial packages where you probably can't pay or keep up? All right. Number three, the last one of the scams is, even if, and we'll talk about this, even if you are contributing to your child, it doesn't matter. It is called a
gift.
It's called a gift. And then what happens to that? She can come in at any point and she can say, you could have been paying her and taking care of your children. She can go into the court. After 5 years, he never gave me a dime. Right? Exactly. Because it wasn't available to the court order. So now they can set your arrearages back 5 years, and now you're behind. And then that's when they start suspending your license, passports, whatever. I know doctors that had their medical license suspended. All right, thrown in the jail.
And your account get frozen and everything else. But see, that's why I say when it comes to these baby mama terrorists, first of all, you can't co-parent with a baby mama terrorist. I don't care what you say. You got a lot of cats to say, well, just pay it and all that stuff. You cannot co-parent with a baby mama terrorist. What I mean by that is because they will set you up for failure. And a lot of these baby mama terrorists are feminists. They Black Lives Matter queens. They are baby mama terrorists come in all forms. It's not a color thing. And they know that anything they do, they will be helped by government daddy. They will look out for them because as long as they out there running to the courts for whatever reason, you could be a good guy, bad guy, it does not matter. They want the piece of the pie. And people actually believe that when you pay child support, the government don't get nothing, but they don't get nothing out of it. You think that they would do all this for nothing?
Yeah, for free. They just run this free system with the court and the judges, everybody, clerks.
They love you.
Yeah, and they take the money. Soon as you give them the money, they give it to the mom, right? That's what they believe's happening.
No, that's some simp logic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the thing is, it does not matter. And if I'm be honest with you, if you don't co-parent with this baby mama terrorist, why would you give her any money out of your pocket? Don't give her nothing. She run the child support, and see, that's what people call me cold and mean. But if they put you on child support because of a failing relationship, or because she's mad at you to teach you a lesson, you got remarried, you moved on, you had another kid or whatever, and she sit back and you put you on child support and say, well, I just bought so-and-so, I need half my money back. You give her nothing because that don't benefit you, because you behind the child support, you gave her $1,000 out of your pocket. you still in trouble. She ain't gonna take up for you and say he did do this. She gonna set you up for failure, man, because that's what they do.
One of the things that happened to me in fighting the child support system, I had gotten a situation, my ex that I shared custody with, and I was still the non-custodial. She got sick and couldn't take care of the children, right? She had failing health, and she was unavailable to the kids for almost a year. And she still did not go to the court and take me off child support. She actually hired an attorney to try to meet with me to try to say, we'll pause the child support payments. And then when I come back, we'll put you back on it. And I said, all right, I took her to court because then I at that point had full custody. All right. There was nothing she can do. She had no leg up. And I told her attorney to go kiss my where the sun don't shine. I don't have no business with you. And I took her to court with her not being able to appear.
Coach, let me ask you a question. Because technically, if you have custody of that child longer than 6 months overnight, and you said you had it for a year, right?
Yep.
You should have automatically got primary custody. But before you answer, I guarantee, I'm gonna guess this. When you went in for primary custody, they didn't want to give you that. So what they probably end up doing, okay, we'll give you comparative time. Is that true?
Well, my custody judge was fair. All right. The child support judges were not. All right. They didn't want to work with me. The custody court gave me, they were like, that's the dad. All right. He gets the kids. Now, when I went to the child support, they still were making me jump through hoops and hurdles. All right. They actually had to reimburse me back 6 months because it took 6 months of that nearly a year to reverse the order. It took me 6 months in attorney fees.
Check this out, though. Here's the funny part. Now, you would think they'd hurry up and cut the check, right? You know why they hurry up and cut the check? Because they get the interest. So even if they give you your money back, that's money you paid or whatever. They keep the interest. That's money. The interest. Hold on. A brother asked, do they take your fishing license? They take your hunting license. They take your fishing license. Any license that you get from the government, they will take it off from you if you don't pay your child support. It does not matter. Even
I had a friend that went. He was behind on child support. He went fishing. He applied for the fishing license, and they sent them a letter back saying, thank you for your $5 application fee, but you don't get to fish because you owe child support. Let me do this, brother. I'm going to go through some super chats. Then we're going to open up the phone lines, brothers. Let me do this. I'm going to open up the phone lines right now. All right. Go through some super chats, man. If there's a question in there, I'll direct it to you. If not, we'll keep it moving. Jason Bravo says, paying tuition CGA with family tonight. I'll catch the replay. Heart goes out to any father who has to go through the struggles of the family court system. Shout out to the coach gang. Hashtag vasectomy club. All right. We'll talk about that.
My man.
PH Darren says, not as much as I'd like to contribute, but unfortunately, I do pay child support to 2 baby mama terrorists. Thank God I've been debt-free for a while and saved some bread. I won't be much longer, though. Hashtag free agent. All right. Reggie Benzo, shout out to you. Happy New Year. He says, thank you for the contribution. Fred Ward, the coach gang has taken flight. We're in it. Appreciate you. Red Pill Mike says, I don't normally get political, but ridiculous child support laws are a political agenda. You either voted for it or against it in November. What do you think about that? All right. Is it political? Do people that support child support, are they typically associated with a political side?
Yes. And I'm going to tell you, for example, like me, Democrats when I got my mind right, started thinking for myself, I realized Democrats are men's downfall as well, because they cater to the Black Lives Matter, they cater to the feminists, they cater to all this crazy nonsense you see out here today. Republicans, I'm more side with the Republicans now because basically I'm not with the handouts and everything else as well. And I'm about businesses, I'm about money, going out there doing for yourself, not there getting handouts from government daddy. But at the same time, recently, just maybe last month or 2 months ago, Tom Cotton, I believe he's the governor of Arkansas or the senator, something he is. He just passed a law, and they approved this for child support to increase. And in his speech, he said that the child support is to help mothers who's providing, flipping the bill, take care of the kid in the household, and said that fathers need to do more. Now, remind you, when it said quote unquote child support, it's supposed to be for the non-custodial parent, whether it's the mother or the father, but he pointed out and said fathers. So when people think that it's just democratic, when it comes to child support, neither one will give a damn about you. you got a better chance with Donald Trump, because he was trying to get rid of do some change with child support in the beginning, but then that's when they screwed talking about they grab him by the P, and they try to deflect all that. But Cotton is a Republican. And I realized then it's a money game. So it is political. It's political.
Yeah, for sure. Void of Light said if the coach gang finds out that some of you bought New Year's gifts for these broads, then your membership is revoked on general purpose on GP. Shout out to you. The Doran Williams show says child support is male enslavement, complete anarchy. 100%. Guys, look, it ain't about being a deadbeat. It's not about not taking care of your responsibility. If you think that's what child support is, all right, you have not been to a child support court. You don't know anything. It is about handcuffing you and not allowing you to grow, and then putting you into some sort of debt servitude. I make it equivalent to student loan debt. All right. These people are coming after you to put you into servitude. All right. Child support is used because you have the need to want to procreate. You want to have your seed. And so you follow out these systems. And then ultimately there's an incentive for, if you act up or she's not happy, all right, she can drag you right down there and then penalize you and watch you suffer as a result of a system that they'll say, well, she doesn't have anything to do with it. That's the courts. All right. It is a bold-faced lie. She can just take you off the child support system. She can give you extra custody. She can do a lot to get you off the system. When they keep you on the system,
she will not.
That is a terrorist. All right. That and therefore you don't negotiate. Go ahead and add your thought, bro.
Well, I also want to add, when it comes to the political, when it comes to child support, think about it. Women, let's be honest, women are out there in the political scene voting. They vote more than we do. Right. They, as a collective feminist, collective as a whole, they run this. You know what I'm saying? So why would these politicians roll with us when we won't even come together as a whole? Because we so segregated. Because, like you say, some people are so blue pilled. Some people are white knights. They simp enforcers. I call them simp enforcers because they come to the rescue just as much as the white knights.
Simp enforcers. I love that.
Yeah, and baby mama terror supporters. They go out there and vote and lead these people in office. A lot of these judges get voted in. Not all, but a lot of these so-called judges get voted in. So they're not gonna side with you. That's why a lot of these states are women's states when it comes to child support. Where they automatically get it regardless. So yeah, when it comes to political, it's definitely a big deal. They want them votes.
They want the votes. And that's why they cater. Again, when you hear people clamoring and fighting so hard tooth and nail for a certain political party, and it's always majority one I mean, you have to look at why they're doing it. All right. It's not just because this person's bad and this person's the angel. There's an incentive, and there's the basis that people work for to get these handouts to continue.
Exactly. They want them.
They want the handouts, and there's women literally. I mean, you go to like a place like Milwaukee, Chicago, Detroit. There's people that will get pregnant on purpose to be able to keep these incentives going on, and then related to housing, WIC, and then child support. Man, it is a hustle.
And let me tell you about these baby mama terrorists. A baby mama terrorist is not just a person that get linked in Section 8. You got these baby mama terrorists with degrees. They got professional careers. So I don't want people thinking, oh, you just some low life broke in the gutter. No, you got one. The worst baby mama terrorist is a baby mama terrorist with education, with a professional career, with money. Because when they go in that courtroom, they can say, well, I'm getting alienated, judge. I ain't seen my son in 6 months, and hey, I'm a lawyer. Why would I do that? I work for the county just like you work for the county, Yana, and I got degrees. I make $130,000 a year. Why would I do that? I'm fair, and they fall for it. And they know what the deal is, but they don't care. They like,
everybody knows what the deal is, man.
What the deal is, bro.
If you ever as a non-custodial, all right, sat in front of one of these judges, all right, you will figure out real fast it's not for you. And child support will lie to you. This is another thing that I want to talk about here. They will lie to you and say we work for both parents.
No, they don't. Right?
Yeah, we work for both parents. We'll do what's best. So they'll bring you in. Bring your 2 years of statements. Bring your 2 years. Never bring them a damn thing. All right. That's how I work with them. I don't give them no information. All right. If they want some information, I will ask them to subpoena anything because they want to do everything on the cheap. All right. They don't want to pay any money. They want to make you build their case against you with your own help. All right.
Yeah. And this is the reason why I messed up, and like a lot of men mess up. all you worried about is trying to be a father to your kids.
That's it.
And you're gonna fight to the end, what you supposed to.
Yep.
But when they tell you to sign them papers, when it's all said and done, you every other weekend and what you pay, when you sign them papers, they don't tell you what you signing is your life away. Meaning that now you're not going to jail or you're not losing your license and everything because you didn't pay. You're getting penalized because you agreed on that paper, that contract that you signed off, that you was gonna pay this every month. So that's how they get you. So that's how you know it's a trick bag. But we don't know because your focus is one, just being a father, but then you going for all these months, you paying the lawyer, you losing money, everything. You like, man, I might just call it quit. I'm willing to just sign and get this thing over with. And that's what mess up. And
never believe
you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And this is the reason why is because men were shamed into talking about it. The reality is when you go into the court, the judge, the mediators, the child support agencies, enforcers, they're focused on the money. All right. You won't bring any money in for them by them helping you. Okay. Right. So if they give you custody and all of that stuff, they know they'll never get child support money from a mother. All right. She'll just go marry somebody else and sit up under somebody else. She ain't gonna go to work. So you're the financial part of the system.
You're the provider.
That keeps them going. You're the provider. Let me do a couple more super chats. Patrick Epps says, going through it myself, I was paying support and she still took me to court. So he was paying her directly and she still took him to court. Case took 6 months to hear and left court owing $3,000 immediately.
And then he probably got arrearage too.
Arrearage on that. And then sometimes what they'll do, because soon as they put you on arrearage, it triggers a license suspension automatically. Okay. Yes. Once you're down $1,000, you're automatically behind, right? And so they'll be like, okay, you're behind. Now your license is suspended, but we'll work for you. Just come back to court and then file this. And then 3 months later, that's when you can get your license back. If the judge so happens to be like, okay, yeah, you can get it back. He could be like, hell no, you don't get anything back. Guys, I've seen these things happen.
It's still a money game. It's still a money game. You got to pay to go to court. And then you got to, they don't let them say continuance. Now you got to pay to come back.
Oh yeah.
They get money all the way around. And like I tell people all the time, you know the old saying, this is a man's world, but the women runs the system.
Yes.
It's a man's world, but the women run the system. My brother just asked me how old was my kids. They 12 and 14. So, but yeah.
So Ferrari Khan says you should have brought in Tommy Sotomayor on this child support show. Well, he would have been perfect for the show. Salute to your hard work, coach. Tommy got a big audience already. I think he's loving OnlyFans. So it's good to bring in somebody else, a new voice to this platform. Maybe you haven't heard of him, and then we could go follow because it's important. You know, I can bring in all the big dogs every time, right? But I need to bring in some other people that we can continue to get these more voices built on these. Helping the men. Dennis Bryan says, thanks for the knowledge and helping us in 2021. Ignacio Talavera, child support is just another way for women to have the last laugh. This is important. He says, I'll take your kids and you still have to pay me. I pay and still am a so-called deadbeat father.
You're always going to be a deadbeat. It don't matter what you do. You can have your kids full time. You still label a deadbeat to everybody else. That's why I say you have to keep your veins cold and you just be who you are. I'm sure they call you a anti-woman and everything else. It's the same thing, man. You got to do that with life, period. You know.
Exactly. Shout out to Tall, Dark, and Awesomeness for your contribution. I believe you're in Australia. Zabaware, BigCartel.com. Get the vasectomy. Glad I'm done with child support this year. Not good for guys. Just started getting credit back over 700 still. He says, build it. I'm sorry. It is a trap. Don't believe nothing she says. All right.
You're right. Don't fall for nothing she says because they will set you up for failure, and the courts will assist them. They aid the system. That's they the right hands. That's their right.
Listen, I went through. I had a mediator lie right to my face on this.
Of course.
And the mediators are supposed to be right down the middle, partial. It was a county mediator, and this is when my ex came back. She was trying to get back to 50-50, and she was trying to get back because at that time, the child support really hadn't fallen off. So it was still kind of murky. So what happened was we were supposed to go to the mediator first, then the custody court, then child support court to follow. So my ex was trying to get me to agree with 50-50 custody, knowing that after we got done with that agreement, we were going to go right to the child support court and they were going to reset and recalculate, restart over whatever I made. And of course, I was making more money. And she came back after being sick, making less money. And she literally, the mediator said, well, no, I told her, I said, I'm not going to agree to 50-50 until we go to child support court, because I knew what was going to happen. The mediator said, oh, no, that doesn't matter.
It does matter. And
I said, you liar. I said, it matters if I agree 50-50 now, we go to child support, they can set it at $2,000.
Yeah, okay. Way less money. They go by both. Most states go by both incomes. Most states.
Exactly. And then she said, oh, well, yeah. Oh, I misunderstood the question of the mediator. Okay. And I was like, no, you didn't. You knew exactly what was happening here. So I did not agree to 50-50. We went back to the custody court and the judge kept me with 100% custody because she knew we were going to child support. See what I'm saying? It was favorable. So the judge actually did me a favor knowing what she was trying to do.
They all side with the mother.
Always. Now, my judge, I do have a good judge, so I will say that.
That's
but
good.
She was rare.
Yeah, because the majority of these judges are not for you men. They are for these baby mama tears. They don't care what these baby mama tears do. They don't care how much they have. As long as they get their money. And the average man make more than a woman. They want their money. It's matter of fact, here's a prime example. You can have equal parenting time and you still pay child support.
In my case, that was what I had.
Right. See, and if you make the most money, they're gonna make you pay. Instead, you paying $2,000, you pay $1,000. Exactly. I know brother time paying $1,000 a month for 2 kids, even though he got equal parenting time, and he still have problems with his baby mama terrorists.
Now, here's the deal: it's not about money. This is what guys have to understand. It's not about money to the mom, to the baby mama terrorist, right? Because if you calculate some of these support orders over a year, it's minimal. All right, we're talking about $6,000 a year. Some people like $4,800 a year. Yeah. It rarely is a situation where a guy's paying over $10,000 a year. Now, the average salary for a male is somewhere near $50,000 pre-tax. So $10,000 is a stiff cut in that check, right? That's a big cut.
It is a big
However, what it is more about is control. It's control is what it's about. Let them know. Tell them.
It's control. It's majority. Like, think about it. I see majority of y'all is going through child support, has been going through child support. Majority of it is because of a failing relationship. It's because you got divorced. It's because with child support, she can control you, control your pockets, control your time with the kids. You can alienate your kid. You fight in court, you still don't get your kids. So it's so many sad stories. And here's another thing. Unfortunately, the suicide rate for men, it used to be 20,000 a year, and it was based off child support, alienation, and dealing with the court system. Now it's went up to 40,000 a year. They don't talk about this because they don't give a damn about men committing suicide. They don't want to go talk about that because then that means they have to make some changes when it comes to child support. You hear nothing about men committing suicide based off child support, alienation, and everything else. But alienation is very serious. But then what kills me about these Mother Earths out here, the son end up being a son husband, which that's what they want anyway, son husband. But he out there doing drive-bys and shooting up schools and everything. Then they want to say, well, the father was alienated. The father's locked up in jail. The father is struggling on the corner. He's a drunk now because he's struggling through all this BS that's been going on. And they have the power to change this, but they won't. They can take y'all child support anytime. They can say, I want to eliminate the rearage. Yep. They can say, I want to have more time with the kid. They're not going to do that because long as they got the control, why would they?
Why would they? And here's one of the biggest scams that they do is eventually when that kid starts turning to gang banging, impregnating everybody, you know what they do? They call you up. Hey, he's 16 years old. You need to take care of him now. After I done paid 16 years of child support.
And you know what, brother? And that's why keep your veins cold. You can't come around 16 years and talk about some you want me to be the father. All of a sudden, the father, he need to be around from day one. So you want all of a sudden try to help Mr. Gang Bang over there. No, he screwed it because of you. And anything that happened was because of you. It's your fault. You set that boy for failure. And that's why when these queens say, well, it's not enough men protecting us out here. You know why? Because you created these simps, these son husbands, as you call them. Son husband, where they beating women, they going to jail. They out here messing around with all these different women having these kids out there, but then you still want to blame that so-called deadbeat that you set up for failure.
Yep. It's guys, some of these things that we talk about, again, they always want to say we hate women. It's a
Yeah.
cycle that is created that some of these communities go through, and they are never going to get out of it
They ain't
until
never
we
gonna
address this. I don't care who you vote in. I don't
It
care
does
what
not
you
matter.
do. The Black Lives Matter, the whoever this and that, and the man, the white man, the this, the
It does
police.
not matter. And
Once if these systems continue to go on,
you know what?
your community is never getting out of these cycles.
Let me tell you why I have an issue with Black Lives Matter. That's why I say F Black Lives Matter, because not because they say Black Lives Matter, but it was started off a false agenda using unarmed black men for they real agenda, which is the alphabet community being a community to help raise kids. You go on they platform or they website, they tell you they want to eliminate the father, basically eliminate the father out the
They
picture.
said that, yes.
And they using unarmed black men as a reason to build, which they did. They made $5 billion or $1 billion, and they ain't did nothing for no black community. They ain't did nothing to help no mother or father. So that's why I say F the Black Lives Matter. I don't give a damn about none of them. And they ain't nothing but feminists
Right.
that's against me. And a lot of these women out here supporting that's calling them out Black Lives Matter, the main ones that got they black
Exactly.
on child support. They can't.
Every time I see somebody crying about somebody that got a knee in their neck, oh, that was my baby. Bro, you had them on child support.
You know
And
what?
that's probably why the police showed up.
Check this out, brother. Check this out. You want to hear something crazy? They didn't talk about this, but Floyd Jones, Floyd, he was also alienated by a baby mama Terrence. He had two other older kids, not the ones that you see. They had a party.
The little girl.
No, he had two older kids.
Yeah.
They was grown, and he was alienated. Ain't seen them kids in over 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
And he was alienated by a baby mama Terrence. But they ain't gonna
talk about that, did they?
They talk about the little girl, right?
They talk about the baby, yeah.
Ain't no man exempt from these baby mama terrorists. It's real.
None. All right, look, we kind of I'm enjoying this conversation. This is very necessary. There's guys holding on the line, but I got super chats. We got to make sure we keep the flow going. You're doing great, brother. You're doing great. Void of Light says, search on the internet 85 secrets that judges and lawyers don't want you to know about the corrupt divorce system or courts. Yes, sir. God bless America. Watching out for these salami smugglers, coach. He says, watch out for them. Happy New Year's, my friend. Dr. Frizzle Frost, welcome to Frostville. Happy New Year. People, salute the coach. My state allowed my baby mom to stalk me as she used my kids against me. Hold your seed, men. All right. Grown man business. One of my favorite new budding channels out here. If a woman can't take care of the children, she gets government assistance. When a man can't provide for his children, he goes to jail. Salute, coach, and Mr. Palmer. Hashtag men's first. Here's the deal. Let me get a couple calls in. I know this is the call-in show. We're not going to get as many as we normally do because we have a guest today. So be brief. All right. Don't come in here. I know you have issues with the child support system. Don't come in here.
It's a serious and interesting topic. And a lot of people want to talk about this.
Yeah, a lot of people want to go in on it. I got 18 callers already. All right. So here's the deal.
Do a part two, coach.
Yeah, we might have to do a part two on this one. Let's get in here, man. Wait a minute. About my episode. What am I going here? All right. I should have some people going here. All right. 909, you're on live.
Good evening, Coach Greg Adams and Mr. Palmer. It's a pleasure to hear you. Also, quick, Coach Greg, while I've been on hold, I haven't been able to hear Mr. Palmer. So what I have to do in order to hear Mr. Palmer's responses and when he speaks, I have to listen to the YouTube. I have to cut YouTube off in the background. So if you have something to say, just give me a quick hi sign and I'll cut talking.
All right.
But what I want to say is first and foremost, because I know a lot of gentlemen out here aren't too familiar with how exactly the Department of Child Support Services works. We'll throw out a couple of facts, then I'll get off the line right quick, and I'll make it quick. One thing is, child support is not judicial in nature. It falls underneath exclusively the executive branch of the United States government. Therefore, the quote-unquote so-called orders are not actual court orders. They can be voided out because they're not signed by an Article III ranked judge or higher. They're signed by a magistrate or a commissioner, which is a lawyer at pro tem who's temporarily acting like a substitute teacher in their 4D court hearing, which technically also it's not even a court. They rent out a room in a courthouse to get off the appearance that they're part of the judicial court system, in which they're not. What I'm also speaking on can be found underneath the Social Security Act of 1936, which is also under Title 18, 42 United States Code 654. that's the guidelines which they can operate off of, which it says specifically in subsection A, 3A specifically. They're not designed to benefit any individual parent, custodial parent that is, or child. They're designed specifically, this is the summary version, to benefit the public treasury. States are not required, hear me, states are not required to participate in a child support program. The only reason why they do that is so that they can receive the Title 40 incentive, which can be found in the Social Security section 458, which you can read word for word, black and white on their website. The profit states make. I'll give you an example of the
Hold on
profit
for 1 second.
California made.
Hold on for a second. He could go on. He loves to come on. He can go on. Now, listen, he's dropping some knowledge, but sometimes I got to pause him. All right. So he's giving you a lot of detailed information that what happens is, let me tell you what happens. A lot of guys go into court with this information. He just gave you probably a year's worth of legal work. Yep. Okay. Now you go into court and you don't have this information set. They already know you're searching this information up. All right. They have a lot of guys here on YouTube that says you do this, you do that. Now, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to be diligent as hell. Don't go in there with one piece of information because they're going to swat your ass when you come in.
It's not a walk in the park. It's not a walk in the park on that.
Because they're ready for you. They already know they're running the scam. Yeah. And then what's going to happen is the baby mom is going to laugh at you because as soon as you come in there with that stuff and you come in there stuttering and stammering, all right, they're going to laugh you out of court. Now, what I would tell you to do, knowing some of the things that he's saying, what you have to do is fight this with paper, legal paper. Okay. Right. And it's going to take years of fighting. Don't think you're going to file a couple papers.
It's going to cost. No, I'll just say it's going to cost as well. And then you got to go step by step because actually under the federal, it's illegal. That's why they let the state do what they want to do. They know this. So you have to go through the state Supreme Court and all that to go all the way up to federal. And even sometimes you don't come correct with the federal, they'll just shut it down. So you like you say, you got to be on your A game. Only few people go through the cracks. It's not that walk in the park. If that's the case, we all do it.
Yeah, it's not what he's talking about. Is not a walk in the park. I know there's a guy that does that. Oh, I got the paperwork. I got the files. Yeah. Guys, let me tell you, if you go this route, you can do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can avoid it. It's the best way to do it. But if you go this route, it's going to be your full-time job times 80 other hours a week. Okay. It's not easy. Yes. What they're doing is a scam. What they're doing is illegal. What they're doing, they got holes in the system. Okay. But knowing that and actually fighting that way is two different battles. Okay. But I appreciate KT, hang tight if you want to hang tight and go further in this, but I got a lot of calls in here. I want to keep the show flowing. I got an international caller. It looks like. Go ahead. You're on live.
Coach, it's me.
Going on.
PH Darian.
Oh, PH Darian.
How you doing?
What's going on, brother? Let them know what's up.
Not much. Just wanted to say shout out to you, Coach Kane, Mr. Palmer. I'm gonna need that hat. I'm out here in Italy right now. Just got on deployment for the military. 37 years old. Been married 12 years. Somewhat. This year I'm up to the tune of paying about $24,000 in child support to 2 different women. Definitely don't want nobody else to walk down this road. It sucks. Military themselves, they came after me and garnished my wages. It's been something I've been paying for about 12 years now. I paid my first baby mama over $130,000. And they even tried to, at the time, include my wife's pay in the system.
That's another thing that guys don't know.
Debt-free, I can actually.
That's another thing that guys don't know. I'm gonna get you going, PhD. Go ahead, Mr. Palmer.
You got it. Here's the thing: whatever state you live in, know your laws, because in a lot of states, not all, in a lot of states, they can get child support from your wife. If you married, if you decide to do that route, they could take, because when you're married, you as one. So that means
household income.
Exactly. So say for instance, you try to be slick and say, well, I got my own business. I only make $10 a week or whatever. Oh, but your wife over here makes $50,000 a year. And since y'all married, you as one, and you file your taxes together as one. That's nothing. Yes. You file together. That's why you file separate. but they can get her piece of her income as well. So now both of y'all screwed.
Yep. Hey, Darren, PH Darren, how old, you had 130 going to one mother. How do you have now another kid? How old are the separation? I mean, did you remarry? What was the situation here?
So never married to the first baby mom, just broke up with her. Okay. Been with my wife for 12 years, just went through the whole marriage wheel, unfortunately, and just signed paperwork last week and started my first child support payment today on the 1st of the month. And, well, at least the second, did it yesterday. So yeah, I've been married 12 years. I have 4 kids, 2 sets. The youngest of the first set turns 13 next week. And the youngest of the second set just turned 7 last week. So I'm in a world with kids. But just real quick, I mean, I know I need to get off. Just wanted to say that this specific thing helped ruin my relationship with my own father because he was in jail and somewhat resented not only my mother, but myself. And I had a horrible relationship with him growing up when I needed it the most, all over child support. And I hope to God it doesn't happen with me and my kids. And that's just something I wanted to share with the rest of the people out there, all the young guys who don't have it. Like I said, I'm 37. Demographically, if I'd be up there, I look just like you and Mr. Palmer.
Yeah.
And
well, appreciate you, brother.
Definitely
man.
check out that Eagle Eyes comment. Okay. That Eagle Eyes super chat. Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Thank you for your call on that one, brother.
That's the unfortunate thing. You know, these baby mama terrorists are the ones who manipulate the child to hate the father. And they will lie and say, well, the father never did nothing, and come to find out he's been paying child support from day one, or they'll say he never wanted you, but come to find out he's been alienated. And a lot of times when they get older, they want to see their father. Sometimes it's too late. And that's the unfortunate thing. These baby mama terrorists set their kids up for failure. They don't love, I'm gonna tell you, baby mama terrorists don't love their kids. Because if they really love their kids, they will make sure that he's around the father as much as he's around the mother. They don't care. They're alienated from the grandmother. That's why. And I feel sorry for that brother because a lot of military men who I talk to get screwed the most because they own sergeant, they own, you know, the American way. You support, you risk your life for this country. They screw you the most. You don't take care of your kids, and they make sure they take your money away. They don't care. And it's
one thing I used to say is they hate the father. The baby mama terrorist hates the father more than they love the kids. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah,
but they will use the kids, all right, in essence to get back at the baby. That now the women that will say, "Oh no, it's about taking care of the kids." Ladies, if that was the case, allow the man off the system, all right, and get him and accept the money order from him, all right. But that's a catch-22 because there's some guys that won't pay, all right. So unfortunately, the courts are used against good fathers who fought for custody and didn't get it and now has to pay for child support, and then she keeps them on the system. That is where the problem lies, not the deadbeats.
But the
deadbeats are gonna pay anyway.
Here's the thing. That's what I was gonna tell you. A lot of deadbeats are not even on child support. I know men who got a kid by this woman, then the other 2 guys got kids by her. She only got him on child support. Why you got me on child support? Because you make $50,000 a year, $70,000 a year. They ain't worth a damn. So why would I put them on child support and then use his money to take care of all her kids?
Yes.
And here's the thing: the majority of men who are on child support, is on child support for the wrong reason. The so-called quote-unquote deadbeat, if you look in it, it's only maybe a real so-called deadbeat, it's only ranges 15% of men. That's it. So that's a lie.
Yeah.
And a lot of men are not even having kids no more because of this and not even getting married. So you can't say that the 85% of men who pay child support are deadbeats. Seriously. Come on now.
Yep.
All
right, brother. Let me take another call. Area code 585. You on live.
Hello?
Yep, you're on live, brother.
Oh, hey, coach. You know, this show came at the perfect time, I guess. Right now I'm thinking, you know, we haven't gotten divorced yet, but I have a 1-year-old son.
Ooh.
And I'm thinking about, so I'm gonna get a divorce. And it's just from what I'm hearing so far, it seems like doom and gloom is coming. And I mean, I want to know what's my best option here, because I mean,
okay.
You know, at first my wife said she wasn't gonna put me on.
Well, here, hold up.
But now she goes to put me on it.
Okay, so guys, this is what we call the praying mantis. All right, if you ever watch my show, this is what the praying mantis is. Anytime you are divorced after the kid is 1 year, 2 years old, all right, in my mind, okay, she intentionally brought you in to have that baby, and now you're split from them. No divorce should be happening after a year or two, unless there's significant trauma. You beat her, she beat you. There should be no reason other than it was intentional, her intention to remove you from that child's life. Are you listening to me? Now, he's trying to say, what's his alternatives? Let him know, Mr. Palmer, what he's got coming to him.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question, bro. What state you in?
What state are you in, brother?
Hey, Coach, I can't hear Mr. Palmer.
Okay, what state are you in?
Oh, I'm in New York State.
New York State.
New York is one of the worst states when it comes to child support. California, Texas, Michigan, and New York. And I'm going to be honest with you, 9 times out of 10, you set up for failure.
All right, so he said they can't hear you. And so I got to translate.
He's
basically saying New York is one of the worst states.
Yeah, and the only thing I can suggest for him is stop. Tell him I suggest he stack his money up. Stack his money up because they're gonna try to get you on see, here's the thing. I say don't get a lawyer, but if you don't know the laws, you got to talk to somebody. Because them lawyers, the lawyer you hire is not going to work for you. They're going to work for the court. They all
okay. Good point here. Good point. So listen, thank you for your call, brother. I'm going to get back with you. Maybe you can set up a consultation either with my brother, Mr. Palmer, or myself if you want to get some advice going forward. Here's the deal. You brought up a good point. Attorneys. Somebody mentioned that. Get an attorney. Guys, what KT King was talking about, all of these loopholes and all of these federal government versus the state, your attorney is going to help you with zero of that. They work for the bar association. Their licenses with the bar association. They have no incentive of getting you off. As a matter of fact, sometimes these attorneys are vote some of these or help pay for some of these judges, their funds. They pay for vacations for these judges through the bar association. All right. They're not going to help you with all of that stuff to get you off and get things reversed. Now you're saying, Mr. Palmer, what did you say about the attorneys?
It's a waste of money. I had one, and they all work for the county. They all go. The lawyer that she's so-called is going against. They go to school together. They eat. They know their family.
Yep.
The judge, they cool with him. Like you say, some of them judges are political, so you got to pay campaign.
Yep.
I know he don't know the law. You need to get a lawyer just to talk to and get information. But go pro se because it's a waste. You'll be wasting your money. Also, you need to save his money because they're gonna try to pull the rearage game. And if they do the rearage, because as long as you're in court, they're gonna tack on rearage, and you got to save that so you don't be in a hole. Because like you say, if you're over 1,000 in a hole, 2,000 in a hole, you're automatically gonna start losing everything, your license and fishing license and everything else.
Now, here's what I would say in terms of an attorney. The child support court, when you go to custody court, that's where you want to have an attorney. I think it's money well spent.
Yeah.
All right. Money well spent in the custody court. And people don't realize I'm talking about different courthouses. All right. When you go to these battles, when they talk about alimony, that's a separate calculation. When they talk about division of property, that's a separate calculation. When they talk about custody, separate circumstance. When they talk about child support, separate. So when you go through custody, I say have an attorney. When you go through child support, it's just a matter of what the numbers say.
Right.
All right. It's a matter of the numbers say. If you lose the custody battle, you already ASS'd out going to child support.
Yeah.
You already SOL. All right. There ain't nothing they can do. They just gonna say, well, this means that you got 80, she got 80% custody, you got weekends. Well, here's the number. Right. Yeah. So attorney's not gonna really be able to do you much good at that point. And your fight is going to be basically on the custody end. That's where you want to put some emphasis. Let me get another call in here. Area code 619. You're on live.
Hey, what's up, Coach? How's it going?
All well, brother.
All right. So I put some notes down. I love your channel, what you do for men. I'm in California. You know, anything that I say, I love my kid, has nothing to do with my kid. You never know what's going to happen, anything like that. I work in finance, make a few $100,000. And so I'll keep it brief, but I'll just maybe drop some words of wisdom that have helped me along the line and not do too much about my current situation. I would advise guys that you're operating under a defined set of rules, the law, and judges or whomever these people are, they have leeway. But that leeway depends on various circumstances and things, but there's leeway. I would advise guys, if she has no job, no prospects, no education, you knock her up, well, none of this probably applies to you. You made a terrible choice, and now you got to live with that. If you're hiring an attorney, I would say it's important to know if that attorney themselves is writing your legal arguments, if that attorney themselves is reading opposing arguments. A lot of times attorneys are going to be pawning this work off to paralegals, other people to write it up, and they will, quote unquote, review it. But that it's so important that your attorney, if you're going to hire one, writes it up, because that attorney is going to remember what they wrote. And when you're in the courtroom, you know, they're not going to be able to call their paralegal. What did you mean when you said this? What about this? What about that? You're not going to have that chance. They need to have like sticky tabs, all this stuff, and all your paperwork. Like, you need an attorney that's on it, not pawning this work off to somebody else. I won't be too much longer. If you can't get 50-50 because of work or distance or other factors, you need to be creative about getting time. So my best advice there is work overnight, right? So if she, like, basically, baby mama, she's making money while your kid is sleeping, right? So if she's sleeping, your kid is sleeping, and she's getting paid for your kid to sleep. So what you want to do is, if you're every other weekend, well, then you should get every other weekend, but dropping your kid off on school on a Monday. Right. If you got a weeknight, you should be dropping your kid off school the next day. Don't let them make money while everybody's sleeping. It's crazy. Building logical boxes around them, you know, so like I had to deal with the move away. So first she contacted me, and then I said, well, what are your plans? How are you going to work? How are you going to make money? Blah, 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 right? I made her build her entire case before the case even started. So she told me all these plans. She put it all in her filings, blah, blah, blah. I ended up subpoenaing her. Turns out she never did anything. She said, nope, I haven't applied. She tried to come back for money afterwards, saying, all right, I'm not working, paying more child support, paying my legal fees. I subpoenaed her bank records. And I was like, what happened to all this money? You know, I thought you were going to get a job, blah, blah, blah. Ended up, she got called not credible. Last one, I would say, if you're making, I'm making like $250. If you're making that kind of money and you're getting bonuses, you need to make sure that you get the split roll. It's an Osler-Smith calculation. So that way you're not being based child support on all the money that you're making. But like if you get a base salary, yeah, you got that amount. But if you're getting bonuses, that is totally discretionary. You should be getting a percentage of your bonus if you're paying it. You know, it's news to me about this other guy saying you don't even have to pay it according to these laws. I'll look into it. But, you know, that's just some basic advice, you know, that I had. I'm sure I have, you know, a whole bunch more, but I'll let you get on with your show. Appreciate everything you're doing. I'll drop you a super chat, and take care, Coach.
Thank you, man. Hey, that's knowledge right there. That's knowledge that, and that guy has time to fight this. And he used the court again. He used a strategy that not a lot of guys use. You think you're going to go in there with your talk game and talk to the judge. All right. Nah, you have to play a legal game with these people. Okay. Subpoena. All right. Get documents. Don't let her go into the courthouse and you don't have any information on her. Then they got all the information on you. That's going to be important for you. Anything to add to that one, bro?
Also, with the gentleman that's in New York, it'd be better if he filed for the divorce versus her. Also, see, here's another thing I tell fathers: if you ain't working no good professional job, start your own business. Get an EIN number. You get your EIN number, yeah. and you making $100,000, $50,000. You only pay yourself $100 a week or $100 a month. That's the way to go. You know, it's way. See, here's the thing: child support ain't going nowhere. So, you know, but it's good to talk about and expose the baby mama test, expose the system, because a lot of people don't know. But we have to find ways to go around the cracks. And having your own business and having an EIN number is the best thing to have, because as long as you use your social security number for your new job, your business, your bank account, personal bank accounts, they know everything that you have, and they would snatch everything from you. But if you got your own business, you can pay yourself whatever you want. They don't know that you got a business account, because everything's under your EIN number. So even if you do have a good job, making good money, and you can't quit, and they taking $500,000 a month, start your second business, and whatever you make off that business, they don't know about it. Ain't nothing they can do about it. Can't touch it.
So one of the things that I did in that situation, I was training and working in real estate, Every time I would join a new real estate team, my license was associated with the state of California. As soon as I joined the team and filled out the paperwork, I would get a letter from child support saying, "Oh, we're aware you work for this new real estate team." All right. And then I was at that point was like, all right, I'm not going to work real estate because I had enough money doing self-employment as training. I was like, well, I ain't going to work then. All right. If that's how you're going to do it, because what happens is as soon as you start getting commissions, they going to take your money. All right. And then the double trap is whatever they set, they can modify it afterwards. So if your income goes up and they can have documentation, you're a W-2, whatever your social security number is triggered. Well, then they can modify, and she can just go in there. He makes more money, and you can't do anything about it. So the bit about getting your own business bank account, that was one of the things that made me get my business established and work hard self-employed, because then I can avoid all of those traps that trigger with my social security.
Actually, if you're paying child support, you shouldn't even have a personal account.
Exactly. Well, and here's the deal. I've had personal accounts levied. Okay. There was one point I was about to go on summer vacation and take my kids to summer vacation. And this was when the middle of her initiating the child support case. That was, they levied my bank account and they took out the amount. It was like $3,000 or $3,900. They took that out. I'm on my way to summer vacation with my kids. Okay. And no access to the account. Okay. So I'm sitting there like, oh, all right. And these were the things that woke me up. All right. These are the things that I realized once she triggers these things to go into motion. All right. And I didn't realize it at that point. My real estate license was suspended. And I went to court to get all of that stuff back. All right. And actually went through child support first. And that's when I knew, I was like, they're not helping me. All right. They're not helping me. So then I actually had to file a court case myself, and I got everything back. I didn't get the money back. The money that they went in there and got, they took from my personal business account. So all of my personal business accounts, I don't have very much money in them. I don't keep money in them because at any point, if she feels froggy, all right, she can take me in and then they start investigating me. So I don't keep much in that, but I do keep business and other things. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say, somebody said keep busting American women, keep busting these American women is fool's game. I want you to know that child support is not just in America. Child support is a worldwide entity. For example, is child support definitely in the European countries? Is child support, did y'all know it's child support in India? Is child support in Brazil? Is child support in Japan? It's child support. It's a worldwide system. And even in Brazil, a third world country, they got child support. Even in Africa, they got certain, they don't call it child support, they call it something else. Certain parts of Africa. So don't think that, okay, well, only in America. No, child support is a worldwide entity. Now, I don't know about the Philippines. I don't know about Vietnam, but like I said, a lot of them Asian countries, like Japan, they do child support. So you're not exempt. You get you a person from overseas, you bring them over here, they be American. That's one of these feminists. And then
it don't take the women long to get together and figure out how to finesse you.
Don't get it twisted. It's worldwide agenda. You have to know when you're going to know these laws wherever you're gonna be at. You have to.
Okay, let me do a couple super chat. JMO 704, thank you for your super chat. Menelik Boweezy says this is a hot topic that talks against the systems, and don't be surprised if it gets red flags. All right, I hear you on that one. Happy New Year, appreciate you, man. Void of Light says after my child support modification trial ended, my ex-spouse owed me $8,000 for overpayment over a year. The judge let her off the hook by not enforcing her to pay it, but yet it's still on record. All right, guys, there was a chance that when I had my custody, almost full custody, I could have put her on child support. And people were like, oh, you should have put her on. And I said, no, because you know what happens then? Now I have to submit my paperwork, all right, against hers. And then when she comes back and gets the custody, now my paperwork's sitting right there with all the information.
They know your business, and
they know my business. So I don't want them in my business. I don't want to collect child support from them. I was like, nope. They were like, you want to put her on? I said, nope.
They wanted
then I would have had to turn over info.
They wanted you to because they want their money. See, most men, like I said, it's not about the money with the men. We just want to be a father.
Yeah.
And when the shoe's on the other foot, there's so many fathers that tell me I ain't put on child support. I don't want a child support. Then some who did, they still didn't get her money, and they ain't penalize her at all.
And they didn't penalize her. They don't suspend license or any of that.
Yeah, F child support all the way.
Exactly. I don't want it, and I don't want to give her it. So it's I don't want the system used at all. J Rock Sox Pat says from Massachusetts, moved to Austin, Texas, divorce here, no child support, 50-50 custody. It matters where you live. Consider your moves wisely. Watch CGA, get out of debt, build yourself up. No simping in 2021. Invest, compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. It does matter where you live. Can you speak on that?
When it comes to Texas, I know so many fathers who got screwed by the system, but I will say when it comes to Texas with child support is a cap. That's one thing. Other states like Illinois don't have a cap. Look at Chris Brown, for example. His child support was in Texas. That's why he only paid, even though he worked for all this money, millions, he only paid, I believe it was $2,500. And with equal parity, you pay $2,500 versus paying $10,000 to $20,000 a month. And that's because Texas have a capping law, so they can't go so much based off your income. So you're right. It's good to know the laws, but Texas screwed a lot of fathers. Even to this day, they'll get screwed every other weekend, child support, alienated, and everything else.
And I think Texas favor. They have. I don't think they have alimony the way they do in a lot of states. So Texas is probably one of the most favorable states, if I'm not mistaken. But California is one of the worst.
One of the worst, and New York.
And New York and Illinois, anywhere there is blue, anywhere it's a blue state. Again, the political argument again. Anywhere it's a blue state, you can almost guarantee you gonna get bent over, and no masculine frame to the bailiff. All right, there ain't no masculine frame when you get in that court.
And you know what? So the most worst thing that can happen to a man when it comes to child support is you paying for a child that's not yours. You do the DNA, you find out it's not yours. You go to court. And Michigan, that's the king of that. It's a woman that I did an interview where she put a man on child support. So she get welfare. They knew he wasn't the father. He never even had sex with her. And guess what? They still wanted him to pay $30,000 in rearage, and he's the deadbeat, and they putting him off, trying to put him in jail. He had to fight, and he's still fighting to this day.
And all they have to do in Michigan, all she has to say is he is the father. It doesn't matter if you signed a birth certificate or not. And the trick to this, I know we got some other calls. We're not going to get to everybody. The other trick is if she doesn't know who the father is, or she could just say, hey, you're the father. What they'll do is send the paperwork to an address, not your address. Okay. They could just say they sent the paperwork to you and served you, all right, or mailed it to you. If you don't respond, they continue on and you don't find out for 3, 4, 5 years. Well, then by the time you find out, you're behind $30,000. You go in and say, it ain't mine. Well, you got to prove it's not yours, but it's too late. They say you have probably a 2-year window. The first 2 years, you got to prove that it's not your child. Anything after that, it doesn't matter. Now you still have to pay the arrearage.
So what's unfortunate, I had guys tell me that it seemed like these judges all over the United States work the same. They got the same antenna. They find out they not the father. And you know what the judge told them? Well, you've been paying all these years. Why stop now?
Why stop now?
Are you serious?
Well, yeah. For them, it's hard now because they got to take the money off from her, and then she got to find the other father. They don't have time for that.
And not only that, guess what? I hope y'all know that these judges get a piece of the child support. Each child support they get, a piece go to their pension. So don't think they don't get something out of this.
Yes.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's all a money grab. People don't know this.
People don't know this. And this is why the whole deadbeat argument is invalid, because now when you throw in these circumstances, now you start going, oh, I see. All right. But the women who they don't care. Okay. And this is another reason why we tell you, you got to be careful who you bust inside, because they don't care. They don't care. At the end of the day, they want to be able to use these benefits against you. And then once you're there, these girls sign you up for child support. They walk over here and then they let all of this aftermath and all of this war and terrorism go on. And they just sit there like, I don't know.
Right.
Because they don't get updates on any of these things that you're doing. They're doing against you. They just sit there and collect money. Let me get some calls in, brother. Let me get some calls. 347. 347. It looks like turn your YouTube
What's
off,
going
bro.
on, Coach?
What's up, brother?
What's going on, man? It's your boy Jarrell.
What's up, Jarrell Boston is in the building. Original Coach Gang member. Let us know what's up, brother.
Nothing much, man. Listen, I just wanted to tell you, man, Happy New Year. I hope everybody's doing well. Keep it going, Coach Gang. I keep putting everybody onto your channel when I'm in the gym and when I'm home right now. Other than that, man, y'all just keep it going. Please share this video, because a lot of the times what happens with Coach's videos is all of these other videos that really don't have too much to do with anything, with twerking and everything else, gets 200,000 views, and something like this will get like 30,000.
Yes.
So this video needs to be shared with every man that you know, because right now we see an offense and the defense of men that are trying to get in a relationship and men that are living a free agent lifestyle. So other than that, brothers, just want you to know I'm closing down on my first home next week. So the free agent lifestyle is real. Next year, this boy gonna be in Croatia. So I don't know if I'm returning back. I may have me some little half and half. Anyway, man, love y'all. Happy New Year. Keep it going and live the free agent lifestyle. Shout out to Mr. Palmer and his channel. And I'm gonna keep watching. Peace.
Thank you, brother. Brace. That's Jarrell Boston. He's not. I don't think he has a channel that he can comment anymore. But appreciate that, man. I'm gonna take some calls back to back here. 649. You're on live.
Yeah, 646.
I'm sorry, 646. Cash
Cash first from.
What's up, brother?
What's goody, brother, man? I just muted the YouTube right now, so Palmer, shout out to you too. I'm feeling that shirt. I won't be able to hear you, whatever. I heard you talk about earlier that that you're feeling more the Republicans. Just want to give you a heads up. Check out the Libertarian Party. Check out Larry Sharp. He's very similar to Coach Greg Adams. You'll love him. And libertarians, including female libertarians, they want to completely reform or possibly abolish child support. Coach Jarrell Boston said, and I think Jarrell Boston is from here, New York, because he got 347 as one of our area codes.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Jarrell, if you can hit me up at the Fix for New York on Instagram, I'll gladly, have you on the podcast. I'm gonna be doing an interview with this big MGTOW man channel tomorrow. So any fellas want to check it out, once again on Instagram, the Fix for New York. And there's a heads up about this whole child support stuff. I was just looking at it from that caller from earlier, and it's true. It's all executively based. Pardon me. And this is why, again, like, people want to avoid the topic about politics, when in all actuality, we should be paying attention to politics more than we do sports and music and all that. We got to set up our politicians the same way we set up our sports teams and our music playlists and all that. Because we could easily, well, not easily, pardon me for saying that, but we can make a very good stride to change all of these things. We just got to put the effort into it. And it comes to, paying attention to who's running for office and all that. Perfect example, Mitch McConnell should have been replaced by the libertarian Brad Barron, who wanted to reform child support in the state of, I think it's Kentucky, where McConnell's from, either Kentucky or Indiana, one of those middle region states in the United States. I was about to say Middle East. My bad. But yeah, fellas, just be careful. Don't listen to these guys now, because Coach, I don't know what's going on, but these guys, they're putting out videos about, cold approaching women, that guys got to step it up in 2021. And this is like, no, why don't you guys make videos about how us men are going to fall back, so that you ladies could come and approach us, and how you posted earlier, Coach, like that we could vet them out better, because the bait and switch, the 52 fake out is right around the corner. And I've seen plenty of men get screwed over, growing up in the 90s and early 2000s. All the guys I grew up admiring and all that, they all had to dip to like Florida, Pennsylvania, Texas, because of child support mostly. It wasn't even because of the street violence. They could handle that. It was the courts they couldn't handle. So once again, I'm going to wrap it up at that. Holla at me at the Fix for New York till they take away my censorship. Coach, this video, how Palmer and Jarrell Boston said, we got to share the crap out of it, because too many guys get disillusioned with their emotions. And then when they're in the courts, they're just like, oh, crap, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
God bless everybody. Once again, at the Fix for New York on Instagram, Coach, you the man. Palmer, dope shirt. God bless you guys. Let's get it. 2021 and onward is ours.
Peace. One of the things that I do see that a lot, I think guys are letting their guard down. Okay, let's be honest. There are guys, there's a lot of this, hey, this is a good time to get peace leave. It's a good time. The women are desperate. We've lost focus. All right. A lot of people have taken their foot off the gas. All right. A lot of people have gotten lax. And I've said this. I said this before these lockdowns. I said no laws have changed until nothing's changed. All right. You guys think it's now a game. It's open season on these women. All right. And I'm still telling you, nothing's changed. if you knock one of them up, all right, if there's domestic violation, I mean, there's still stuff on the table. And when you get in those situations, I'm going to tell you, you're going to wish you didn't. You're going to wish you didn't.
Yeah.
Living Life says you keep thinking there's a difference between Republicans and Democrats. They are the same people. Zionists making you think there's a difference, or making you think there's a difference. Wake up. Well, listen, we know Republicans, and they're all on the same team. However, there is no question when you talk about the people who are looking to hand out, there is two different philosophies. You might want to say they don't work on the same team, but there is no question when you vote blue, what the ingredients are that you're receiving. All right. You can talk about they're all the same. Yeah. Okay. It's all the same bird, two different wings, whatever. All right. But you know for a fact, when people start voting these agendas in, all right, there is one side that will allow you to terminate pregnancies 8 months in. They promote very much a socialist agenda. So look, yeah, you can say it's the same thing.
That's all I'm saying too, Coach.
That's all I'm saying. We don't want it. Look, you want it. You can believe that. I believe that. Yes, there's elites, there's Zionists, all that. If you want to believe that, great. But go to some of these cities and you will notice a stark difference in between and at the local level, you will notice a stark difference in how the laws are applied, et cetera, based who is running it. All right. Overall in the United States, yeah, they're the same team. But locally, when you go to the family court and you're in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, good luck. All right. Exactly. You're in Chicago, Illinois, good luck. Just look at the child support laws. You mentioned several states. The ones that are the roughest tend to be Democrat run.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the roughest states. All right, for men with child support. So there is a difference. All right.
No man's exempt. That's all. You
exactly. And no man's exempt. Yep.
It does not matter.
It don't matter if you go in there and say, hey, I'm gonna start Democrat. All right. Don't put me on the system. All right. It don't matter.
And that's why I say it's not it's not a race thing. It's a gender bias system amongst men. And people need to stop thinking that, oh, it's just the black man and the white man. No, it's men, period. Anybody can get this. Anybody.
Colin says 2021 is the year that I will stay single with no kids, going to the steakhouse. Appreciate you, man. Antheus Bolden says split. Then the court went back, or he split with the girl. Then the court went back the whole 4 years, even though I was in the same house with my child. Started 10K in the hole. Funny, when the baby mama got done with the carousel, they promised to drop it. Never listen to a woman that says she's going to drop the child support.
Don't listen to a woman, period.
Yes.
Yourself. I don't care if you married. You got to watch out for you. Even if you married and everything's fine so far, you have to watch out. Period. You got to have a plan B, because they will see, people think that a baby mama terror is just somebody that didn't get married or somebody who out there just for link card. I'm trying to tell you, you could be married to a woman that got money. Look at Angela Jolie, who was married with Brad Pitt. She got him from the adopted kids as well as his kids, and they both millionaires.
And they both got money.
It doesn't matter. At first they was looking out for her, but they realized she was a wacko and they got tired of it.
Right.
So don't think anybody can get it.
It don't matter if you're wealthy, poor, rich, black, white, Republican, Democrat. It don't matter. This system it's against you if you got a baloney pony between your legs.
And yes, for what he just said, yes, you could be on child support and still living under the same household. And here's another thing: a lot of guys will say, if you marry, you want to divorce, don't leave until let the judge, make the decision. Because if you leave, they try to say you're banned on it. I know a brother in New York who stayed there, and you would have thought by him being there from day one, did it the right way, got married, working and everything else. Guess what? He stayed at the house. Judge told him to get out every other weekend and child support. He do not have equal parent time. He thought he did. I told him
he stayed.
And he stayed trying to do it the right way. They say, I told you, it's not. They don't care.
Right.
It's the game. They don't want you to have equal parent time. That's less money they get.
Yep. Jonas JPEG with the co-sponsorship. Coach, music is what I do. And to start the year off right, I released my new single entitled The Free Agent Lifestyle. He says, look it up on Jonas JPEG on all music platforms. Thanks for the inspiration, Coach. And let's continue to spread these Crimson capsules. I'm going to look forward to that one, brother. Eagle Eye says, if my ex could, she would have made me pay child support for my grandchildren. He says, in the process, I'm getting a mortgage and I had to show proof that I was finished paying child support.
Okay.
Guys, I saw a 60-plus-year-old woman taking a man in the court because she was going crazy. I was like, what's she? Because when you go to family court, you see all kind of circus. You see the circus when you get in there. All right. There was a woman in there saying her ex-husband owed her child support, and these kids were 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The kids that she wanted to go in and collect arrearage from were 30 years old. She couldn't put it behind her. And this is why I tell you, older women, they are, once they hit 50, 55, 60, they're going to get desperate. All right. And if you owe them money, they go. And so imagine your kids are 30. She goes in, reinstates your child support arrearage case. You go to jail for kids that are 30, 35, 40 years old.
And guess what? And when you pay her them arrearage, them kids ain't going to see that money. They're not going to get that money. Go right to the baby mama terrace.
Yep, she's not gonna give them any of that money. All right, we can only take a couple more calls, man. I appreciate that. We had a guest today, so we didn't get all the calls in. Let's try this one. 412 area code 412. You're on live.
Coach.
Yo.
Let me turn this off. Listen, I just want to tell the young men. I got extorted. I'm getting extorted. She ran off with my child. They hit my credit report. They lapsed my insurance because they said that my license was suspended. They took my arms, took everything, crashed my car. Somebody hit me. My insurance had dropped me, right? So I had to pay out of pocket for everything. I lost everything like 2 or 3 times. I'm here to tell you much love. Love you, Donovan, Jack. Much love. But, hey, Coach, I want to give you 5 hard ones to bring out my book. I'm writing a book. It cost me upwards of et cetera, et cetera. I just want to tell the young men, listen, no hole is worth your soul. All right? You sticking your thing into that, and it's going to cost you 18. I watched my dad go through it. I watched my BMT. Much love, Coach. Coach, we really appreciate you. Yes, sir. To the young men out there, do not engage in a woman who you would not make your wife. Please don't do these things. These things are detrimental. I'm watching guys get taken down for warrants, fake warrants. This opens the door to a lot of things that you might not even think is possible. I had to jump ship with my mom when I was 12. She was at BMT. I went to live with my dad. I'm from the most oppressive county in the United States for black men. I'm in Pittsburgh, Coach. I don't know if you were talking to me. I talked to you on Donovan when the older gentleman said, we on the same team, just 2 different oppositions. You on defense, he on offense. We still with y'all. We rocking out. Yes, sir. Much love. We appreciate y'all. I've been rocking out with you since 26,000, Jarrell. Shout out Jarrell and shout out Cash 456 and all them guys like that. Like, yo, we need you, Coach.
Appreciate you, bro, man.
Much love. Appreciate you. They can take your arms. They take your CDL. They take your real estate. They take your driver's license. They hit your credit score. They drop your car insurance.
Your
things like that. Much love, Coach. Shout out.
You, bro. Bank account. I mean, dude, they really get you tied up where you can't move. All right. You can't go apply for a job. You can't drive your car. You can't leave the country. All right. And again, these things, you can't practice your medical law. You can't practice your law. You can't practice medicine. And it's not as if these men are trying to evade the responsibility. It's the system, the way they get the system going that gets you behind. Even doctors get it where they can't keep up with the payments because the system gets you going so fast where you get behind. And then as soon as you do, and you complain about it, oh, you just a deadbeat. Pay your responsibility and do what you need to do.
And this why I say ain't no such thing as a deadbeat until you cut out these deadbeat baby mama terrorists. And that's why I don't have no remorse or no mercy for anybody that decide to do the Ray Caruth and ex they baby mama terrorists, because sometimes we get to that point. I don't want to see that out.
All right, I ain't agreeing to that. Don't come on my channel.
What I'm saying is I don't condone it. What I'm saying is, but that's why it's a lot of Men who
Those things happen because what happens is this is what happens. All right, if somebody says out of their mouth, "You're never going to see your kids again," all right, and they start using that game, then this is what happens. They set into motion reactions that a man goes, "Oh my God, all right, what do I do?" Well, the reason why she says that is because there's a system in place that's going to handcuff that man and hinder him, and he knows. Now, I'm not telling guys that they need to take that next step.
No,
but,
I'm doing it.
Yeah. But when they use these things against you, all right, family law attorneys know that they have blood on their hands. They know that they have blood on their hands. They know that there's people who commit circumstances because of the paperwork that they got in order. And these attorneys got blood on their hands, and they just go, all right, next case. They don't care. That's the unfortunate thing about the family law system. This is why we tell you, gentlemen, be very conscious of what you're doing when you start doing these things. These guys that talk about the cold approach, these guys talking about getting peace leave, all right, they never factor these things in. They never do. And they say, well, it ain't all going to happen. They're not all going to call the police on you. They're not all going to give you a sexual harassment. They're not all going to, okay, let me just line it up. Sexual harassment, domestic violation, what do you call it? Sexual assault, divorce court, child support. I mean, they got a bevy of things that a lot of men are on simply because they wanted to get a piece of peace leave. Now, not all men are on them. Some guys just skate around and they get 200 women and they never have to deal with these things. But for people to be completely ignorant and not bring this up, because there's guys going through it that you don't even know about. They don't even talk about it. The minute you talk about it, they kick you off to these platforms. So you're going, oh, not all men gonna get on child support. Not all men get a sexual harassment. Not all, you don't hear about it when they do. So be conscious of it. I'm not trying to scare you away from women. I'm just trying to let you know it happened to me. I've had my license suspended, bank account levied. All right. My work license suspended. All right. All of that stuff. I had them dip into my bank account. I had my tax returns going to the, I had it all. And I was barely behind. All right. And I had a tax return go to her and I had full custody. Okay. I had full custody, but the way that the calendar worked, she got the tax return. Okay. This is what I'm telling you, gentlemen. This is how the game is played. You can do it all day long, but gentlemen, this is not, it really is not a game. Okay. It's really high stakes what you're dealing with. Now, I'm going to do one more call. 949, you're on live.
Hey, Coach, this is D. Dwayne Williams show. How's it going?
What's going on, bro?
Pretty good, man. Appreciate being on last call.
Oh, you got your phone went out. Did he get disconnected? It looks like he got disconnected. All right. He was excited about being the last call and got disconnected. All right, hold on. Let me do one more. 909. 909, you're on live. $909. Going once. All right, he's out. Let's see what KT King. Let's wrap up with him. KT, you on?
Yeah, I'm here. I hear you loud and clear. I still can't hear Mr. Palmer, so if Mr. Palmer wants to chime in, just give me a high sign.
All right, give me a minute or something before we go.
Ben,
give me 1 minute.
First and foremost, in order to defeat the Department of Child Support Services, you've got to sue them in civil court. That's the key. If you attend a 4D hearing, a Title 4D hearing, they don't want to hear it. It's all what that hearing is. It's just for them to get money. You can go in there and cite your rights, and that's good if you know your rights. But it doesn't matter there. You have to sue them in civil court or appellate court, either at the state level or the federal level. It doesn't matter, either or. That's how you defeat them, to where when you can use in your paperwork that they're practicing bill of attainder, which is covered in the United States Constitution, which is illegal when they do those practices of taking away your license, levying your bank account, so on and so forth. That's how you hit them where it hurts, where you can get your money back and get all your licenses back, along with the order that states they are no longer allowed to come after you, regardless of who files with them. because it's not a right. No one has an inherent right defined by the Constitution of this country, which is the law for all the land, to child support. And that's covered in several Supreme Court cases. The most notable one is Blessing versus Freestone out of the state of Arizona, along with out of the state of Illinois, Mason versus Bradley, and out of Tennessee, there's Wehunt versus Ledbetter. Gentlemen, look that up. Where I got this information, who showed it to me, which I've used to help free myself, is Amin Osiris, who's here on YouTube. He knows what he's talking about. I've done the research for myself. It's on the money. That's all I got.
Thank you, brother. KT, appreciate you, man. It looks like all the calls dropped, but look.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
There's that lady again. All right. Let's see here. I do have super chat game to go into. All right, so stick around for a little bit. We got about 10 minutes left. All right, you got a little time, bro?
Yeah, I got time.
You don't got to go to the bathroom or something?
No, I'm good. I didn't drink some water.
All right, super chat time, and then we can have you chime in here. Sheldon Ross says, what needs to happen is more street justice. This is what he's talking about here. Let me make sure I can read this because I don't want to get taken down here. He says, okay, I won't read that one. All right, but shout out to you, Sheldon Ross. All right, appreciate that one. The only one, the one and only, shout out for being a member. LAG says, I left my wife and got the order 2 years later, 2 years later, a week right after I gave her $1,000. I've been placed on arrears for $15K, though I have records that prove I paid her $14K, but they refuse to review it. Man, if you don't give them a money order, do not give her cash. Do not give these. If your baby mama, and this is where I hold the line. Say you're on child support and your amount is $500 a month. And she calls you up. Hey, we need shoes. We need to pay for Little League. We need to pay for X, Y, and Z. This happened, that happened. If it's not a medical expense, tell her to take it out of her child support money. Do not give her cash. Don't pay for it because you're a good man. All right. Yeah. If she has you on child support, you have to literally say,
child support,
because I'm paying for you to have my kids, you pay the money that you have me paying through the system. You use that money. I will give you no additional funds.
What people don't understand is when it comes to child support, even the judge will tell the baby mama terrorist, whatever he's obligated to pay, that's all he got to pay. So if he decides to give you anything extra, that's on him, but he don't have to do nothing else.
And you don't have to do anything else. And that's what the law said you are obligated to pay. Right. So now you can if you want to.
Right. So you put a good man on child support out of spite or whatever, and you went from getting $1,000 out of his pocket to $200 a month. That's shame on you. So he ain't obligated to do nothing else. And like he said, you want me to pay this and pay that? No, child support, because you wanted to take it there. So my job is to pay the state and the state pay you because you felt that I wasn't good enough to co-parent with you. So leave it that way.
If you want me to pay all these extra fees, all right, you give me custody time, all right, or else live with what the court told you were paying. That's it. Ignacio Talavera says, called in, coach, but couldn't hear, so I hung up. Keep up the good work, gentlemen. Q-Time says, sorry I'm late, showing support. Appreciate the wisdom. Maxwell 1984 says, biggest transfer of wealth. Yes, the whole system is a transfer of wealth scheme, in my opinion, the way it is. And it's never going to change, guys. It's never going to change. So this is why we talk about go your own way, save yourself. All right. Yeah. Because if you think there's going to be a political group or a group of lobbyists that are going to get together on behalf of men and change the laws, it's not going to happen, period. Shamara says, with the co-sponsorship, people will hear this message and still come up with excuses to get fleeced. If you choose the route, if you choose this route, your death will be slow. Harden your heart when dealing with these terrorists, for sure. I mean, that's why people look. Some people talk about people like me, and they've never been through any of these systems.
Right.
Oh, just keep going out there. There's a good one. Just keep going out there. Just keep cold approach. Keep going. And I'm like, bro, I've been through the belly of the beast. Okay. Right. I've been through the belly. So you can't just keep coming in and say, well, all you have to do is and then hold masculine frame. And look, I realize I try to hold a whole bunch of frame, and the courts don't care about no frame.
Yeah. Why chance it?
Why chance it? The best thing for me to do is protect my seed going forward. All right. That to me is worth more than getting a couple of busted Pillsbury biscuit cans, even a couple of 10s. It's better that I protect my seat against these 10s than to go out there and say, pat myself on the back, I boned some women. All right. I'm like, no, brother. All right. It costs a lot of money. Johnny B. Easy, I should say. Happy New Year's, coach and the coach gang. Thanks for the pills, Mr. Palmer. 11 years of child support left to go. Please send me out with where did all the good men go?
Where did all the men go?
Bruh, 11 years of child support. Imagine. You know, I've been in that boat. Until I had to fight the system. I was looking at 11 years of child support. And I'm figuring out all kind of ways to just minimalize my life because of the way the system applies pressure on you. It's not where you want to be. Peter Racing, currently co-parenting without a legal agreement. What do you think about that?
Have a contract, draw up a contract, have a lawyer, get it notarized. I mean, well, with the lawyer here, notarize it, have it filmed that y'all make this agreement, because you got to have a contract. If you're not gonna go to court, that's fine. Do it on contract. Like I say, get a lawyer, have it all written down, have it filmed, because she'll say you coerced her, made her do it, and you'll be okay. So if she try to take it to court, then you can get her for that agreement. Hopefully the judge don't try to dismiss it, because someone will try to play it, but technically they're not supposed to. Right. That's what you do. Don't go off that verbal.
No, sir. He says, could I be held in arrears from day one if she takes me in? Should I sue her to get my contributions documented and not classified as gifts? Bruh, she got you by the balls, Peter.
Yeah.
She literally got you by the balls. You better trust this woman with the last breath of your life. This is how critical this is. Because say, for instance, we are going through recession. We're going through all these people losing their job. All right. All she got to do is go, Peter. That's all she got to do, and wreck your life. All right. So I would get, again, how I deal with my ex and my co-parent is I don't talk to her in person or of anything related to these issues. Okay. Right. If these issues come up, it must be a message, a mail message. And we use a service called Talking Parents specifically for that. That's where all the communication goes. You want to talk about anything, kids need some shoes or whatever, they need a fee, write it in the message, and then I'm going to write it back. All of our parenting agreements are filed with the court. Mm-hmm. All the financial situation is filed with the court. Right. I don't negotiate a damn thing in person or in writing without it being able to be filed in court.
Well, okay? you can't negotiate with a baby mama terrorist anyway. So, I mean, like you said, the best thing to do, text message or the parent app, because even through the parent app, they'll talk that yak, and you take that to court and the judge still dismiss it. But at least you got it regular for you. But you got it for you. Just in case your kids say, "Oh, well, she said this, she said that." You got the receipts. So, I mean, it's bigger than just her.
I would not give a woman a dime. Mm-hmm. And if I had it, I would not give her a red dime, a red penny, right? Or a silver dime or whatever it's made out of. I wouldn't give her a penny without it being documented and knowing where that penny is going. All right. And it being contributed to whatever the overall expense is. Get it in writing. Roy Frederick says, I know my finances is monitored, so I go 1099 so I can keep some control. Keep up the good work, gentlemen. Yep. The RP Awakened Mindset. How do I go about a consultation for both of you? Let them know your information, bro.
You can email me at babymamaterrorist@gmail.com. You can also reach out to me on Instagram, FCK Child Support. Also Facebook, F Child Support, the full word. And them the three ways. Also, I'm on YouTube, of course, but that's, you can't message me there. So
yeah. One of the things that I did, one of the things that I held a hard line on is a lot of women will move other men in while you're paying child support. One of the things I did was saying, I will refuse. I'll go to jail before I send you any money. Okay. I'll go to jail before I send you any money. I did not pay her as long as that there was a man over there. All right. I was like, I'll let them put me on arrears. If there's a man over there and I'm putting money into that house and that man's not putting any money, all right, into that, I will not pay. All right. So those are one of the things that they'll play on you. They'll take you to court and they got a Pookie or Ray Ray sitting there. All right. Where you can't even investigate him. They don't marry. They don't get engaged. Oh, it's just some guy living over there eating steak and lobster, and you over here eating beans.
Yeah. And that's why I always say keep them veins cold. It's gonna be a lot of stuff you're gonna see and go through. Like that's one of the examples there. And I hear people when I was going to court, I hear the judge when they say, well, she mismanaged the child support. She's not putting it on the kids. She's spending on herself. You know what the judge say? And technically he's right. She has the right to do as she please with that money.
Yep.
So they don't care. And you tell me it's about the best interest of the child, right?
Yep. And they don't care.
They
let them do whatever with the money. Colin says, I had a girl that I dated, got pregnant with my kid, and she threatened me with child support if I didn't give her the termination of pregnancy. I ended up giving her the money for the abortion. But what happens is, like Paul George did the same thing.
Yep.
He got the girl pregnant. He didn't want her to have a baby. He paid for the termination of the pregnancy. She kept the money and then eventually had the child. And now he's married to her, or he's going to be married to her. Look, you take her down to Planned Parenthood.
Right.
You take her down there. Don't give her no money, but I hear you, brother. Bob Dole says, love the show. And thank you for building a group for guys to talk about this and spread the knowledge. Love the funny ones. And thanks for all you're doing. Serious show for the gang. Appreciate you, Bob. Jeremiah Franz, happy New Year's from Columbus, Ohio. Appreciate you, brother. The Red Pill, RP, and Mike Awakened Mindset. I'm the guy from New York, and it's funny. I'm divorcing her, and I'm planning to start a business after I now know no bank accounts or anything else. One thing about this, if you get a child support order and then you try to start a business, it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
It's too late. All right. You have to do that before the child support hearing starts, like well before. This is why you got, again, these dating coaches don't tell you none of this. All right. They just set you up and then leave you hanging high and dry after you knock somebody up. But they might tell you to put on a condom. All right. At least I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But these PUAs, they selling you a pipe dream. They not giving you the whole information. Look, if you get a child support order and you are W-2 and they base it on your income, don't think you're going to quit that job and start a business and then go in for a modification. It's too late. All right. They're going to say, oh, you voluntarily quit that job and that's on you. All right. You still got to pay whatever the order is. So get your ducks in a row before you even get to this point.
Right.
All things Dad BK, shout out to you. Hillel Ben Shahar says 2021 is the year you say no to child support. Tyson Jalil, cryptocurrency is your friend. Good luck finding money that is on the encrypted USB stick in the safety box. All right. Good luck finding money that is okay. Yeah. RD, shout out to Mr. Palmer and CGA. Incredible information. Also for business owners, you can use an anonymous trust. Keep them veins cold. Steve Jones, can I move child support from CA to Georgia post-divorce? Everyone lives in Georgia now. Nope. The child support is in effect in the county that she filed it in. All right. Yep. Now, if she moves, technically, there should be her moving the child support, but she moves the kid and her, the child support order is still in effect in your state, wherever you are.
It's up to the courts to decide to let it go, but a lot of them, they're not going to let it go.
They're not going to let it go. Why? Because there's incentives otherwise, right?
Exactly.
They're not going to let that money go. So yeah, you got to work that out legally. Okay. Hello, Ben Shahar. I live in Texas and know where Ken Paxson lives. OLU TV, Falcon Black says, keep going your own way. F that. Right. People were like, forget all that. What'd you say?
I said, I ain't mad at that at all. You do what works for you. That's why I say we got to change the laws in the mind, whether if it's MGTOW, the red pill, frigid lifestyle. Like you say, it doesn't matter. As long as men better than themselves, having the highest standards to go around this bull.
Yeah, as long as you're using your big head, all right, not the little head. Guys, when you start using your little head, man, good luck catching up. All right. They got so much game for you. All right. You think you got game? All right, I'm gonna learn this game. Dude, women got game for you, and they know it already. When the moment you lie down with her and she lets you slide inside of her without no condom, and she don't say nothing, she gaming you.
She know what's up.
She know what's up.
Yeah.
All right. Xerax says, I swear that someone or a few people hate the ideal of family, or at least the idea that I get after the womenism is a factor, that or men are viewed as slippery eels avoiding responsibility. Yeah, for sure. Court is not about avoiding responsibility, guys. For sure. Eugene Prentice, gentlemen, see if you qualify for an index universal life insurance policy. Hide your money in there. The government child support won't be able to touch the cash value that is growing inside with zero losses. Shout out to the coach gang. Lloyd Light CS needs to be abolished. That'll never happen, or at least a minimum cap amounts. Maybe that'll happen. I was paying $1,500 a month, which is a grip. Basically, that was her rent being paid.
That's
Bob Dole, learn how to impute her income. Don't let a bad economy or job loss affect how to make you a captain saver. Broad. Kevin Brown, appreciate you, brother. Bless, never stress. Coach, this one is from Cash First at the Fix for New York. Remember, fellas, don't cold approach and don't catch a possible #MeToo. Instead, share coaches' videos and save lives, all right? And save your sperm from being put in these women. Kevin Brown, Happy New Year, coach, from Scotland. We got a couple more, and then we'll be wrapping it up, all right? The red pill will make him awaken mindset. Should I put myself on child support from day one if she decides not to, so that I save myself from starting in a hole? I'm terrified, honestly. What do you think about men? Because there's some men who do this.
I mean,
what do you think about men who put themselves on child support?
I mean, it's a pro and con to that. It depends. Like, is you making a lot of money? Because if you're making a lot of money, you putting yourself on child support, you setting yourself up for failure. Because guys who do it, it can happen where you get more rights and everything else. But the con side about it is the fact that you put yourself on child support and you still get screwed by the system because you make so much money. They finna get you. They not gonna give you a discount for going there first. So
they don't give you a discount for going there first.
No, that's
perfect. I've never thought about it that way. That's perfect. They don't give you a discount for going there first and putting you on. Okay, that tells you right there.
Yeah.
Oh man. See, the thing is, going in there first, you're still going in with all of these jail. All right. That's still. It's not like they're gonna say, "Oh, since you came in here, we're not gonna put you in jail if you ever get behind." Yeah, there ain't no discount.
A lot of times they say they more lenient, but you still paying child support. Ain't no lenient. You still paying child support.
It's all computer generated because say you can't make a payment, it goes in the computer and then they start triggering all kind of stuff. They're not gonna pull your file up and say, "Oh, but he came in."
Yeah.
Joe Barboza, thank you, Coach and Mr. Palmer. Child support is the way that these 3 or 4 can get money from us. Men, be careful about these BMTs. Bob Dole, the legal system is built to defend women and give them teeth. The legal system changed to benefit women. All right. It didn't initially.
Right.
Then it did.
Right.
And then the womanist movement came along, and then now you have an archaic system. Okay. Right. So it went back and forth. There was a time where men benefited strongly.
Right.
Then there was a time when women benefit strongly, and it made sense when they benefited. Right. Just being fair.
Right.
You talk about the 1930s, 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Right.
Or before the 60s. Yeah. All of this made sense because if they were going to give custody to the women, well, then you have to pay.
Right.
And you were just going to go out there and work, and she never worked. Like, okay, it made sense. Right. Now it makes zero sense.
For married women. It was for married women back then.
For married women only. Right.
Yeah, if you weren't married, you couldn't get it.
Wow. Interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call them HBS because I can't pronounce that. How does a Mexican like me tell a child support judge that I'm not paying any child support and never have gotten any of my license suspended? All right. So he might have went in there and told the judge, there's guys that say that. I went in there and told him to F yourself and nothing happened. There's guys that claim that they do this.
I hear it, but I ain't seen nobody do it when I was going to court.
I mean, there's people online that have said that. I just went in there and told them to F themselves. All right. Maybe they just said, you know what,
maybe they said the heck with it. I don't know.
Hey, go in there and try, gentlemen. And report back. Gilo, shout out to you. King Vegeta. A ton of this should be taught to high school kids. Hold on.
I agree.
Nope. Now, why would they prepare you for that? They can barely prepare these kids to balance their checkbook, right? It would be great if somebody brought me into, especially in the community, to speak to boys on this. You think single mothers would do this? Do you think, why would the single mothers not do this? Because they're doing it to other men. They're doing it to these boys' fathers.
Yeah.
So I would be indicting the mothers who brought their sons. I would be indicting them. The sons would be looking at their moms like, so this is the reason why they don't do it, because they need you to feed this beast.
That's what they got people like us for, though.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
What the light says, ensure you have your own court reporter during your CS session. Do not rely on the court reporter with the court. Read your state laws and statutes. I believe it, guys. You guys, instead of trying to learn game all the time, game is beneficial. Instead of doing that, and like Castro said, go learn the law.
Learn the laws.
Go learn the laws. Like KT King was able to cite all of that stuff. It's only after men get screwed that then we start being interested in the law. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to get men to be interested in it before you get yourself bent over in the court.
Yeah.
That's what my purpose is here. I'm not trying to scare you away from peace leave.
Right.
I'm just telling you, peace leave costs a hell of a lot of money because you think it's free. Yeah. And she let you crawl up in her insides without no condom on. And she let you bust. Go ahead, daddy. Bust inside of me. It feels good. I like it when you do it.
Yeah, okay. Cash money. Cash cow.
Cash money. G-Lo says simp backdoor boys are actively going after baby mamas because they know they're getting money to get that lobster. Yeah. I cannot stand a guy. I date women that get child support from other men. All right. That's a simp.
I don't respect you.
I don't respect you at all. All right. You ain't pimping. That is not a pimp. I had a guy used to say that in my comment section. Oh man, it's good because the money going to me. Bruh, what kind of simp?
Simp enforcer.
Simp enforcer for sure. Number one, you the simp door. You before I even get in the door, you the simp. All right. Oh
man.
That's sad. Bama, you give her $10,000 a year and you can't deduct it. She gets $10K and puts no taxes on it. And of course, this is all pre-tax money. And then she files for the child to get tax credit. All right. A lot of you guys that just got your little money from the courts. Well, if she has custody and she has filing both of your kids or all three of your kids, she files, them on her tax return. She just got extra money and you got nothing. And if you're behind in child support, that money went to her. So guys, it's a cold world.
Yeah.
Still sleeping, bro. I'm about to be in the child support system this year with my divorce. Going on with the praying mantis. The stream came at the right time. Pray for me. Yes, that's what you're gonna need. Yeah. Adrian Perez, last one. My son, 10. I've used Cash App and labeled it as child support. Does this help me in the court system? What do you think?
No,
I wouldn't use those. Yeah,
no, they're gonna still say it's a gift. It doesn't matter. You go Western Union. You got to give her a check, cash your check, money order. Cash App and what's the other one? PayPal and all that stuff. If she's a baby mama Terror, she's gonna say he ain't did nothing for me. It's a gift.
And how are you gonna pull your PayPal receipts? All right, by the time you get
a screenshot, it don't matter.
Yeah. The one thing that I did do, because at first I was giving my ex checks. I was giving her checks from my personal account. Mm-hmm. And what she would do is she would deliberately hold the check. All right. And then what will happen is she would hold like 3 or 4 checks and then try to, you know what I mean? Like this BS game. If you needed the money that bad for the kids, why are you holding the checks? Okay.
It's not about the kids.
It's not about the kids. It's a game. So I start saying, oh, I see what you're doing. You're holding my checks. So then you're going to go in there all at the same time and then throw them in there and hopefully try to mess up my financials. Right. And so I said, okay. And I start doing money orders only. All right. And then I start doing, what is the other, not money orders?
Oh, cashier check.
Cashier's check. Yeah. Then I started doing cashier checks. I was like, I'm not playing this game. All right.
Yeah.
But then that was before we had a child support court order. All right. And then at that point she went into child support and then said, I'd never gave her any of that money. All right. And then I had to go back in and go in with the cashier's check. So see, there's games, guys. There's games that they play with you. And this is not a game. Dealing with women is not a game. All right. You really have to be on your P's and Q's and on your toes. But listen, that's enough about that, brother.
Hey,
go ahead.
I want to say something that was a comment that was said a while back. It said by a guy said penalty flag on Mr. Palmer, unnecessary comment. Let me explain something to you. The comment that I said about the Ray Carew thing, it wasn't about, like I said, it wasn't about condoning. What it's about, the reality that goes on behind the scenes. These judges don't give a care about the mother or the father. They just use these baby mama tears as money game. And a lot of these baby mama tears poke the bear. And because they poke the bear, there's a lot of murders out here because of, like you say, the woman say, I'm gonna set you for failure, I'm gonna put you on child support, you will never see your kids again. So to say that it was unnecessary comment, it was a necessary comment. It was just a misunderstanding, assuming that I condone it. But like I said, I don't condone it, but it needs to be talked about. And until they change these laws and stop and make it fair for equal for father to have equal parenting and equal rights and everything else with the courts, more baby mama tears will get that treatment. So it was a necessary comment.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that can be looked into, but nobody's condoning that here. So make sure we understand nobody condoning any of that type of stuff here.
Well, what it was when you said you don't do it on the platform because, like you say, you thought that I was condoning. I'm letting them know, nah, you ain't no unnecessary nothing. You know what I'm saying? I knew what I said and I meant what I said.
There you go. Hey, you stand on what you talk about here, brother. Atlanta Light, thank you for your membership, bro. Where can they find you? Tell them again where they can find you. I follow you on Instagram, and you post some great Instagram videos over there.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, let them know about your YouTube. I know you're starting to get that popping a little bit.
Yeah, my YouTube, just type Mr. Palmer, and you'll see me with if you type the whole thing is Mr. Palmer, FCK Child Support, or you type in Mr. Palmer. On Instagram and Twitter is FCK Child Support. On Facebook, it's the whole thing, F Child Support, all 4 letters, all together.
Of it on there. Okay, they let that fly.
Yeah, they let it fly.
Oh wow. Okay. Facebook is the worst of the.
It is, bro. They flagged me a couple of times, brother, and thanks to Minister Jap and you telling me, hey man, go on YouTube. That's when I started to do YouTube. Now I see there's a whole nother atmosphere, and I want men, because it's for men. Like I said, to change the laws in our mind. As long as we change the laws in our mind, do the frigid lifestyle, the MGTOW, the red pill, be thinkers and not reactors, and stay away from these simple force and everything. That's what I'm on. And exposing these baby mama terrorists in unjust system as well.
Exactly. The RP Awakened Mindset said thanks to both of you and Coach Gang for the oh man, thanks, brother. Man, thanks for being here, bro. This was worth it, man. We've been talking about doing this for months. I know a lot of people are like, let me get on your show, bro. How long? We've been talking about this for a long time. So don't think
about almost a year.
Yeah, about almost a year. So don't think you're gonna come on and be like, hey, let me get on. He just popped this guy on. No. We've been talking about this for a long time and trying to coordinate it. And we had to get our schedules right to actually make this happen. So appreciate you coming on. You nailed it, bro.
I appreciate you. And to be honest with y'all, just like he said, it took a long time. It's gonna take probably about a year and a half for me to get on my platform.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's just how it goes.
That's how it goes, man. We're busy, man. We're doing what we're doing. So I appreciate you, man. You nailed it. You gave us the information that we needed to do, man. I'm really glad you got on, bro. To the rest of you guys, man, shout out to the Coach Gang. We're gonna be back in here Monday with our regular schedule. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your new year. Set some goals. And then think with your big head. Think with your big head, bro. All right, man. We out of here. No outro music, man.